any others that we can come across. So I think the bottom line is let's get rocking and rolling here. I want to start first with the S&P 500, all right? So what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the chart here and take a look. Here's the S&P 500 or the SPY ETF that tracks the S&P 500. And what we can see basically is that we've pulled off of the recent highs, but we're starting to try to make a move up again. And basically what you have here, would be considered an in spirit of bullish pattern of consolidation. All right, so right now, as the way things stand, this would tell us that overall over the next few trading days, there might be one more move up in the charts. Okay, the charts again ultimately take here. That would be your next target on the upside, which is around 422 or 4,200 on the S&P 500. All right, so that's number one. Now, is it possible that these spiders could fail that move? Yeah, anything is possible. Remember that patterns are all about probabilities. So obviously we'll watch for that. But right now, ETF. Now, if we do drop down, you see this downsloping trend line here. This goes all the way back to the all-time highs. Pivot high, pivot high, pivot high, pivot high. We broke out. That now becomes support. Remember, folks, this is super, super, super important. When resistance break, support, affect the blue line, even as much as I think the markets are still going to go down another 25% in 2023, I still think that you have to look for a technical bounce at that level. Okay, we had basically zero interest rates. We had the Fed printing money. We had the government printing money and sending checks out. We had, people able to buy homes at essentially, 3% or under mortgage rates. We now have 7% mortgage rates for 30-year loans. So there's a lot of different things here that the markets are dealing with, which is why I would be very concerned. I would not buy into this is a repeat of 2021 in terms of the money flow that can go into stocks. And that even crosses over to something like Tesla. If we go to Tesla, Tesla had a great move and is continuing to have a nice little move. It's actually up pre-market this morning. But the problem is that you don't have the same financial conditions that you had when you were up at the all-time highs. So for me, we hit resistance. Look at this line right here. We hit resistance right here. We pulled back. If we make one more move up, you're looking for around the 222 to 223 resistance level. That is a very strong, this area, anything from 210 to 222 to 223, huge resistance. And I am a shorter. Absolutely, I will 100% short this thing. That is not even a question in my mind. I will absolutely continue to short it up here, expecting a bigger pullback. The pullback, when it comes in, not only are we going to go back and fill probably the 144 gap fill, but I still have it projected out that before this bear market is over, we will see Tesla down probably sub $100, maybe as low as $65. All right, so that's your Tesla analysis right now. Another stock that ran insane in 2021 and is having a big move is this chart of NVIDIA. Look at this upsloping trend line right here. That gives us a major level of resistance on NVIDIA. All right, so we're looking at NVIDIA with a potential upside max of 232 to 233. There is a gap fill as well right around 231. That is a level to short, in my opinion, on NVIDIA. NVIDIA, again, has earnings next week, I think next Wednesday after the close, if I remember correctly. So that should be very interesting to kind of come across. But again, that is a swing short in my book if it gets up to about 232 to 233. All right, next up, let's take a look at the chart of gold here. Gold is having a nice drop. Love the drop on gold here, guys. I've been saying it would pull back from when we were at the highs of 1950. Notice the parallel trend, right? Trend line here, matching this trend line right here. Where did price go? Right to that trend line of resistance. The chart was telling us that, again, we were likely going to see a pullback. Now, I've been a bull on gold going back to late 2021. I said it would be the best performing asset in 2022 compared to Bitcoin and the S&P. It certainly was. And I've said that it will be the best performing asset in 2023 as well when comparing S&P and Bitcoin. Now, that doesn't mean it's not going to pull back. So when I say it's going to pull back, it's not that I'm changing my mid to long-term projections. It's just saying that short-term, the chart was overbought, right? I mean, you were at the lows of this channel. You went to the highs. Well, it should pull back, right? I mean, that's what the chart's telling us. And the charts, by the way, are always right. My gut, my heart, my this, my that doesn't matter. The market doesn't give a crap about what our gut tells us or our heart wants. It does what it does. And the technicals get us through that. Okay, so the bottom line is, folks, here we are looking at a pullback on gold today. I do have a buyable level coming down here. And again, that buyable level around 1810 to 1800. That's a starter position. We're only basically we're only $20 away from that at this point in time. So 20 bucks more on gold, and I'm going to start accumulating my long positions again on gold. Now let's look at silver today. Silver is also having a beautiful drop here. Silver's getting into some supports down here. Same thing. I have another level around 2120. That's going to be major support, and I will look to see if it gets down there. Next up, let's look at natural gas. Natural gas had a big pop yesterday. It is pulling back today. We can see again another kind of big kind of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 move down on the intraday chart. For those of you that know the methodology that's taught here in the Winning Trader series, that tells us that that's a time count. We should see some sort of intraday bounce off of that. But the bottom line is we're still well above the lows from the last day or so, which were all the way down here. And again, look at that rally. Let's do a fib retrace here. Let's just see what the fibs tell us. I love fib retraces, folks. And if we take this low to this high, look at that. What's the fib level right there that the price literally went to the penny on? The 50% fib level retrace. So from the lows from yesterday to the highs of yesterday, the retrace is now a perfect 50% Fibonacci retrace. All right. And the reason why I like fibs, but you don't see me using a lot of other technical jargon out there, is because I like technical indicators that are naturally occurring, meaning that occur in nature. When you go in nature and you see something like a Fibonacci sequence occurring over and over in the rings on a tree or in the petals on a flower, that to me tells me that there is something to that and that we should be using it in our market analysis. All right, so that's what little tidbit there on the natural gas chart. I'm still bullish overall on nat gas. I still think it's due for a bigger run. If we look at the drop that we have seen on this, it did come into some major levels of support down here. We can draw a trend line right down here. You can see, look at all this support from right over here, and that again generally should dictate a bounce. Now we've had a small bounce, but really not much of a bounce here. I do think at some point we see a bigger bounce to the upside. All right, let's keep going on our merry-go-round of chart analysis here. Let's take a look at the dollar. The dollar, I have said, has a bull flag, and I've said this in my interviews recently. I've said this in my daily analysis videos. I've said this across the board, and look at the dollar starting to break out. See the bull flag, guys? That is a classic bull flag. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Again, notice how sevens repeat over and over again. This should pump you up because you have a discovery. When you learn how to find time counts, you have a discovery that even most institutions don't know. All right. This is something that, again, is so important to our daily lives. Understanding when breakouts can occur, understanding then taking the next step further to confirmation signals. It's freaking amazing. But look at the 3-bar surge and then the time count, and then here goes the breakout. Now, the breakout on the dollar is actually bearish for the stock market and for crypto. So again, we'll have to watch and see what crypto does. Right now, you still have a lot of money that's trying to rush into crypto. It's rushing into the meme stocks. It's rushing into the Teslas, the NVIDIAs, all of these it's rushing into. That's normal. That's a revisiting of or people trying to recreate the magic from 2021. As I explained earlier, remember, the 2021 magic is no longer there, not because people don't want it and don't will it and just dream about it, but because you don't have all the money in the system anymore. The money is getting sucked out. So that's one of the reasons why you have to be more careful with a stock like Tesla after this big run, and you don't want to be buying it up here, in my opinion. You want to be more looking to short these big moves up. Okay, where's the dollar going to go, guys? The dollar, again, where's the breakout going to go? I have a trend line already here. Look for upside to about 105.53, 105.50, we'll call it, on the DXY. That is going to be your resistance. So again, if the dollar goes up there, we know that the dollar has an inverse relationship with the S&P 500. We would expect the S&P to be down today. Is it down right now? The answer is yes. The futures are down. In fact, if I do a quick check on the actual S&P futures, we are currently down on the S&P futures 24 points. That's actually a pretty hefty drop. 24 points is a pretty hefty drop. Okay? All right, so that's a good one right there. Let's go to Bitcoin. I know everyone's waiting on the crypto analysis. Bitcoin actually getting a little bit of a pump today. So far, this is good to see on Bitcoin, but look at what you're running into. See these lows right here? All right, basically this 22,600, 650 level. Look at what we're into. So right now, this is a nice move on Bitcoin. You got to kind of tip your cap to it. But let's see where it closes. Can it close above this trend line here, this resistance line at 22.65? That's going to be key. Vin, we already covered gold. Go back on the replay and watch it back there. Again, guys, if you're coming in late, again, watch it from the start on a rerun, and that's going to be better. But we already covered gold on the charts. All right, so again, Bitcoin, yes, it's a good move, and it's actually impressive because you're seeing the dollar rise. Now, usually Bitcoin falls when the dollar rises. So right now, this is an impressive move on Bitcoin. Let's see if it can close above 22,650 today. That would be impressive if it could. I'm also watching this bearish pattern of consolidation to see if that gets negated. That would also be something that would get my attention. Obviously, folks, I'm going to update you all in the video in Verified Investing Crypto later today. So I'll do that towards the end of the day on crypto. And you guys, again, can keep that and look for that video. Don't forget, smash the like button, guys. Subscribe to my YouTube because I'm going to continue doing these in-depth educational chart analysis, setting the table, the game plan for the day. And again, make sure you're following me on YouTube so you get notified when I do schedule these. And again, hit that like button. Love seeing those likes come in, guys. Means a ton to me that you guys appreciate what I'm doing here and trying to get you guys more information. All right, let's go to Ethereum's chart, see what Ethereum has in store for us. This is also a huge day on Ethereum. Huge. Okay, the reason why it's so big is because, number one, we hit support right here a few days ago, right? Right in here. You hit support. Now look at the bounce, which is what you're supposed to get. You hit support. It's like running into a wall. You should bounce off the wall. And in this case, it's an up move. The big thing to watch, look at the upsloping trend line. Do we close above that upsloping trend line today? That's the question. If we do, that could be short-term bullish for Ethereum, and it can start trading inside of this range again. So the line I have, and again, my line may not be 100% accurate, but we're going to call it at 1575. Can Ethereum close above 1575 today? If it does, that is very, very bullish for the Ethereum chart. That would be a re-entry into the channel here. It would at least give bulls some hope that we could then trade and maybe retest this high area over here. Just like Bitcoin. Notice how Bitcoin, I mean, this is what I love about charts. Bitcoin's into a key level. We're watching a key level today. Ethereum's into a key level. I mean, all of these things, all right? So that is what you want to do. You want to continue to really focus in on these levels and see where they go. I'm seeing someone just continually ask about FTM. Aren't they bankrupt? You really want to trade a bankrupt stock or a bankrupt crypto? I don't know. I mean, I can look at it real quick, FTT, but again, to me, it's just a matter of when it's going to get liquidated. I don't like this chart at all. I'm just going to be honest with you. Look at this. See that trend line? That's a breakdown below there. You'll have some support on FTX right here. Again, this wouldn't be something that I would be involved in personally. Once you get those kind of headlines, is there a chance for a bounce? Yeah, you can see it bounced over here. But for me, again, I'm going to stick with the best of breed. Best of breeds, definitely. FTM, not FTX. I got you. All right, there we go. FTM. Let's take a look at that one. So we can go into just a couple questions, guys, here. All right, so FTM, nice little up move. It's trying to retrace here into these levels. Let me find here one of the lines that I would be focusing in on. All right, so if we do make a move up, your resistance is going to be up here at about 69 cents. There's a trend line right up there. That's only if it's going to get to that level, though. Aside from that, this is a big fall here with an inside bar move. So again, I'd probably be looking to short it at 68 cents if I was looking at this one to be a short on that one. Chain link, I cover this in my videos at nighttime with Verified Investing Crypto members. And by the way, folks, don't forget, if you want all my information, if you want everything that I teach, the Winning Trader series at verifiedinvestingeducation.com. It has literally everything: time counts, teaching the confirmation signal, three-tail theory, every chart setup I use, that's at that point. All right, so that's at that spot. Okay, looking at chain link, a little bit of a bounce. Honestly, it's stuck inside of this longer range. There's not much to do here. It is bouncing off a little bit of support right here, but really you need to get through $7.80 to get the pump to $9.60. So 780 is going to be your short-term level there. Let's look at Lululemon. Let's go back to a few stocks here. Lululemon has support down here on the chart. I can bring that out. Looks like there's a gap up here that could be filled. So if we get a pump in the market, I'm just trying to look at the bigger chart picture here and see what we have. Let's do our trend lines. Again, we always like to do our trend lines. There's your downsloping resistance trend line. And in fact, I'm going to get rid of this blue one. I don't agree with that one anymore. I must have put that in a while back. This is more important right here. Look at that channel. Look at that. I mean, look at that wedge pattern. That's a beautiful wedge. So basically, if you're looking at Lulu and you want to go long, do not go long if it breaks, or exit if it breaks this trend line. So if it breaks this kind of 305, 300 area, get out right away, because it's going to probably go to 250. But same thing on the other side. You could be long as it doesn't break that, and then maybe it'll test 365 and maybe break to the upside. Okay? All right, guys, I'm going to make a new policy. If you post a symbol more than once, I'm not gonna go over it, okay? You're just wasting space on the feed, all right? Let's take a look at UNH here, see what we got on UNH. And UNH here, guys, again, not much on the daily chart. A little bit of maybe immature consolidation starting here. We'll continue to watch that. Let's look at Palantir. Palantir had a big move yesterday after they just turned a little bit of a profit. If we continue to get a market pop, look to short this around $11 to $11.40. That would be your short-term resistance. In terms of potentially buying it here, don't chase it. You never want to chase after a 20% move yesterday or whatever it did. Again, you wouldn't want to chase that chart. Okay? All right, let me see what else we have. Let's look at Platinum, see what Platinum has in store for us here. The chart on Platinum's had a nice decline, beautiful decline. Platinum actually has some good support here. Look at that. So today you're right into this area of support. So right around this $920 level, there is some support on the daily chart of Platinum. If I zoom out as well, look at this. You have more support just a little bit below 900. That would be another area to add. So again, 920 is support, then 885, 886. That would be a level. You would not want to see this break this lower trend line, though. So if it gets below 880, then you would want to exit. So good. I actually kind of like it here. 920 and then buy a little bit more around 885 or so if it gets there. But that's not a bad chart as long as it doesn't break those levels. On the downslope, take a look at this. So you basically have a trend line right here. And again, there's your upper band. So your upside is going to be limited to about 1,085 unless it breaks out. If it breaks out, that's good. Now, I actually like the longer term consolidation going on here. I love patterns that consolidate for longer periods. Let me give you guys this one last bit of analysis on this. All right. So basically, one of the things that I look for is how long something consolidates. The longer it consolidates inside of a shorter up move, the more bullish it is. So look at this. Let's draw this in. See how this move up was pretty sharp and fast from basically March of 2020 to the high of February 2021, right? So less than a year. This was about 10 months, 11 months. Then look at how you have this pattern of consolidation, right? So basically starting from February of 2021, you've stayed sideways to lower for all of this time. You're now basically 2 years. So less than a year up, 2 years of consolidation. Now, the reason why that is important, and this is so important, folks, the reason why that is important is that when you get a sharp up move, a lot of people will say, okay, I'm going to sell into it. When it can digest that move and it doesn't take out this low down here for 2 years, double the time, that's overall telling you that there's a great amount of pressure building And the fact that it hasn't taken out this low is very, very bullish. So to me, on a longer macro basis, this is a very bullish chart. You see how it's digesting for so much longer than it went up, and it hasn't even this. But now let me just ask you a question. If the digestion went below here, right? If we took out this low, then it's no longer valid. That's not what you want to see. But as long as we don't, and it's all inside of the up move, this is very, very bullish consolidation. It is one of those things that I absolutely adore, these type of chart patterns on a bigger macro basis. So I want to just be clear on that. That is really, really interesting on a macro. By the way, it kind of makes sense, right? I'm overall midterm to long-term bullish on gold, mid to long-term bullish on silver, and obviously platinum kind of fits right in there. Same sort of consolidation. What this tells me is you're going to have a massive move coming on the metals probably in the next 6 to 12 months. And that, again, will probably take out these recent highs. Percentage-wise, that's a pretty darn good return. All right. Yeah, Coinbase, again, nothing on Coinbase. It already had its bounce off of its lows and it's pulled back off of its highs. So Coinbase wouldn't be something I'd be looking at. GDXJ, just refer to my gold analysis. Basically, you can coordinate it with that. XLE, we could look at oil as the last thing. I'll look at oil real quick. And again, oil today, guys, it's basically hovering on this breakout trend line. It has not broken out yet, but it's very, very close, and it's building a bullish consolidation pattern. All right, so again, that's bullish consolidation right there. If it can break out, short-term resistance is 82.5. If it gets through that, you're looking at $93 to $94. But right now, you have immature bullish consolidation that's favoring the upside slightly for maybe a short-term breakout. What would change my mind if we broke this trend line here, then it's going back to 70. And eventually, by the way, I still have a call out that it's going to 65 or under. So I eventually, even if we get a breakout here to the upside, which I think is possible, I still think it's ultimately going lower. All right. All right, guys, I got to get to trading in the live day trading room where I'm going to be day trading. We had 3 winners yesterday, scored some big money. Again, that's at inthemoneystocks.com. I'm going to be on live for the next hour and a half or so in that live trading room. Don't forget, check out inthemoneystocks.com for education on stocks, commodities, as well as trade signals, day trading, swing trading, and don't forget verified investing crypto.com for all my crypto trade alerts and my daily videos there. And obviously, guys, like this feed. I appreciate you, each and every one of you, from the bottom of my heart, coming out, supporting me. Support yourself by learning. I love it. Keep learning. You make money. The more you learn, the more money you make. Have a good one, guys. Thank you so much for coming out.